Yeah, I'm just gonna be your sidekick on this one. You go whenever you're ready.
Hello, CFA Nation, Gabe.
Nick.
And we are here today for another installment of Cricket
Convos.
Oh, Nicholas. Oh, Nicholas. You know what we're going to talk about today. And those of you that are just joining, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what we're going to talk about. Now, we've been on a little bit of a hiatus, For those of you that don't know, my 17-year-old Trey has been going to some college official visits. That's basically when they're allowed to bring you down, wine and dine you, try to get you to sign. And he finally did decide to sign. I posted it on our Twitter. He's going to the University of Mary in North Dakota. But it was a very stressful thing, traveling every weekend to different colleges. It's something that takes a lot of time out of your day. My other kids are in school, sports, a whole bunch of stuff going on. So Nick's been holding down CFA practically by himself, both channels. I'm impressed. Hats off to you, my friend. Hats off to you. I want to be like you when I grow up. So we weren't able to talk about some of the stuff that happened, like the culmination of South Africa and India, and of course the beatdown of my West Indies that just happened, or West Indies actually winning, even though they should have they should have blanked, bro. They should have blanked England at home, but at least they won the series 3-2. Okay. But Nick, the most important thing I think I want to talk about right now, and that's what they want to talk about. That's what this video is about. Is JL getting fired? Now, I know in the comments, a whole bunch of people are going to kill me right now and say, Gabe, you've been calling for this. And I have. But not like that. Not like that. All right.
Give him the switch line from the Matrix. Give him the switch line. Not like this.
Exactly. Not like this. Not like this. Okay. There's a way to do things. And these cricket boards, to me, bro, I thought India's, brutal. Brutal with the captaincy, obviously, the way they treat their players. But Australia, think about this for a minute, Nick, and I'm going to get you in on here. JL just recently resigned. But basically, he resigned because Australia's cricket board didn't have the gonads, didn't have the cojones, all right? The intestinal fortitude to just say, look, you fired, cousin. Why? Because the guy's actually turned his team around. The guy just got your T20 championship. The guy just won the Ashes, right? 4-0. He's finally done something good for this, and now you sack him. But instead of being mad, say, listen, we're going to go in a different direction. Whatever. The players don't support you. There's still too much controversy around you. You're not good with the media, such and. What do? They offer him a 6-month contract? A smack in the face? I'm disgusted. And bro, I hate the decision makers. I really do. And it's in every sport, Nick. I hate the decision makers. I hate the king makers, the people up on top that just with their puppet strings control everything, but don't bleed for the game the way the fans do and the way the coaches do and the way the players do. Now, I'll get into why this should have happened a while ago. But before I get to that, I don't think they should have done it this way. If you're going to fire a guy, if you're going to be a man about it. Don't give him an ultimatum that's basically saying, listen, here's a pity contract offer, but everybody knows you should be re-upped for at least a year, if not 2. So this is our public saving, our face saving move to say, oh, well, we gave him an extension. Stop it. Stop. Just fire me. Don't. Oh, dude, I'm disgusted the way Cricket Australia did this. Nick, how do you feel about the JL sacking, non-sacking?
It's interesting because I was not so much in the camp of firing this guy because I truly believe in continuity. You got to have continuity. You got to be building. When you're coaching, when you're leading, when you're guiding any group of people, you have to have time for your ideology to set in and to move forward. You also have to have buy-in. Now, we understand that the according to reports, senior players did not have buy-in. They were done with his act. They were over it. They were no longer supporting him. Some of his staff members too, apparently. And I get that. And you can't have you can't have success when the players are willing to say, we're not willing to follow this guy. But talking about what you're talking about right now with the 6-month offer, basically it was a slap in the face because it was like 6 months. We had the T20 World Cup. I believe it's in Australia. You can coach us for that. And then you can ride out onto the sunset, even if we win. But even if we win every game by record fashion, you're not coming back. Like, you're here. We're going to allow you to have 6 more months. We know it's been stressful on your family. We know it's been all this kind of stuff and very taxing. We appreciate you being the coach of 3 formats after one of the worst scandals in our country's history.
Right.
But you only get 6 months. You've lost the players. And all of that does get me frustrated. It does get me upset. And I've been hearing a lot from Australia fans. They're not happy with the way it's gone down, even though they're like you. They agree that it needed to happen. But what makes me extremely nervous is this. And please, everyone, make sure you understand exactly what I'm saying, because I'm not saying anything rude. I'm not saying anything judgmental or anything like that. It's a phrase, okay? You don't let the inmates run the asylum, for crying out loud. And when you give the players that much power, oh, wait, you guys aren't happy? Pat Cummins, you're not happy? So-and-so, you're not happy? We'll get rid of him for you. Don't worry about it. That makes me extremely nervous. That sets a particular precedent, because when it's an international team, isn't it about the good of the order? Isn't it about we all here have a goal, and they're able to accomplish that goal? I didn't pick them to win the World Cup, and they won it, for crying out loud. But if they're not happy, they're not happy. I get that. And maybe there's been mediation. Maybe there's been all these different types of things to try to intervene. I don't know. But I don't like the way it looks. None of us are really going to know the inside besides those men and women that are involved in it. But that's what makes me extremely nervous. Because what happens now, and I saw it with the man Kobe Bryant. Love Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. One of my athletic heroes. But when Kobe was not happy with a certain coach or a certain player, bye, you're out of there. And the problem is, when he was considering for a second getting traded to the Bulls, right? It's because they did not include him on the hiring of, I think, Mike Brown or whatever it was in the situation at the time. Okay? And I get that. You want to have your star players feel like they're involved, but they can't run the team, for crying out loud. If they can, then why do you have the cricket board? Let them do it themselves. What happens if they're not happy with the next guy, right? What happens then? And maybe I'm, as usual, I'm going above and beyond on this, but those are some of my initial thoughts of what I'm not happy with. But again, after saying that, I'm also a realistic person. At the end of the day, if something's not working, even though the results are showing something different, then you can't keep doing the same thing.
Right. Here's the thing. I have been calling for this. And the reason I've been calling for this is because, to me, JL was not a me leader of men. All right. People ask me, yo, you're from the West Indies. Why you a Australia fan? Well, the show, The Test, and this is how polarizing television can be. All right. Don't tell me television and reality TV can't sell you on something, because it made the Kardashians billions and billions of dollars. All right. Listen, let's be real. What talent do they have? Don't even get me started there. But the reality is, I saw the Amazon show, The Test, and the documentary, whatever you want to call it. And bro, even though it was on the heels of this huge scandal, bro, I fell behind these players. I love these players. I was like, man, they're fighting. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes. They're coming back. Redemption. The way it was filmed, the way it wasn't really a documentary, because even though it was a documentary style, they still told the narrative. You know what I'm saying, Nick? They told the narrative to make you like these players and to try to fight for these players and root for these players. The documentary was not objective, which they're always supposed to be neutral and objective. It was not objective. I fell in love with Uzi. All right. Nathan Lyon, all these guys. Uzi's primarily one of the guys that I fell in love with, and I could see the argument with Nathan Lyon, and Uzi called him out to his face. Like, listen, you can't sit here and tell us to ignore the noise. It's all white noise. But yeah, you ain't here kicking trash cans. You ain't here blowing up at the media or whatever when you telling us to ignore the noise. All right. We're the dudes carrying the ship right now, because our 2 biggest guns are out. All right. No David, no Warner, no Smudge. We're the guys carrying this load. We're the guys doing the hard work, the heavy lifting, so to speak. And JL just did not like being, Did not like being called out on it. All right. Since that time, right, everybody knows what the Uzi story is. There's no justification for Uzi not playing when you had the likes of Joe Burns and others trying to the steep. Stop. Let's be real. There's a reason why England's still losing or was losing in the Ashes. It's called Rory Burns. Burns is just a cursed name in cricket right now. Just saying. You know, I don't think they're related. They may be related, but I'm joking. I know they're not related.
Oh, they're related.
Oh, they're related. Dude, horribleness, okay? But Nick, it's just, again, he was not the right guy. You cannot lead men, especially in the middle of a controversy, and say, don't do what I say, do what, or don't do what I do what I say. No, you don't do that. Bro, you know you're being filmed. This is what you got to think about. If during the documentary he knows he's getting filmed and he's kicking trash cans, he's swearing, he's doing this and that, what do you think happened behind the scenes? Like you said, what we don't know, what happened in those closed door meetings, blow-ups between him and different players. Like that had to tell you that more happened that we don't know about. So from that perspective, I did not like him. I always go with the players. And I know what you're saying. You don't want the inmates running the asylum, but ultimately it's the inmates that are out there sweating blood, blood, sweat, and tears. And the fact that he was a former player and still treated his players that way, to me, was a little iffy. But there's guys that are like that. There's guys that are like that. Maybe that's his coaching style, whatever.
Do you think it's a generational thing, though? Do you think it's a generational thing where the generation nowadays, and I'm speaking mainly to the age of kids that we teach, right?
Right.
You can't tell these kids and even their parents anything these days. You just can't tell them, for crying out loud, because you're going to be wrong.
Right. I do think that, and I remember, it's funny you mentioned that. I think he's a player or a coach that's out of time because of the players he's dealing with right now. Because I remember him talking in the documentary, The Test, and he's like, I don't understand it. They carry these in their backpacks with them. And he was talking about Travis Head. He was talking about Lovishenk, that they carry their Xboxes and take them to the hotel rooms and they're playing video games till 1, 2 in the morning. He's pissed about that. But in your generation, the players would be out at the bars till 1, 2 in the morning. So really, which one is worse? With that being said, here's what a leader is. You know what a leader is, Nick? And this is why, say what you want about him, who was trying to bridge that gap with the younger players, who was like, I don't even know how to play this, but I'm gonna sit here and play with these guys because this is what they do, and communicate and try to establish that relationship and that bond. Tim Payne. All right. Say what you want about Tim Payne, but he understood these younger guys are the future of the team, and he's in there like, I don't even know how to play, but he was in there with Travis Head or Marcus Lovishenk. I don't know which one of it was, playing video games. And again, it's the old guard understanding that the new guard's part of the game, and you got to embrace them. You can't just mock them. You can't just, you know what I mean? No, this is what they're into. This is what they do, whatever. Okay, how is that any worse than, players back in your day staying out at the bars till 2, 3 in the morning? They just stay up playing Xbox now till 2, 3 in the morning. It is what it is. So I think it's you're right, a coach that's out of his element because he's an older coach that did not know how to relate to the younger players, like the outspoken players. And not that Uzi's that young, because he's, I think, 34, 35, but players that are going to tell you how they feel and are going to do things their way. Okay, I have fought. I have crawled, blood, sweat, and tears to play to get where I'm at. I'm going to do what's made me successful, period. And a lot of these coaches rather lose, Nick, and we're not talking about in cricket. We're talking about in all sports. They rather lose their way than win through the way of the player. Case in point, the greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick, just had to swallow his pride and probably would have had another ring or two if he had kept Tom Brady. Brady got a ring without him. Belichick has yet to have another ring since then. Why? Because he could not swallow his pride. But no matter how good of a coach you are, we're the ones out there performing. You're not. You can't do it for me. Okay? I think that one of the greatest sports movie speeches I've ever heard was Al Pacino, Any Given Sunday. And one of the things he says is, as you get older, things in life change. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of life. And he says, one of the things I've realized is that I can't control everything. All right. I can't go out there and do it for you. You got to do it yourself. And that's what coaches forget. You're not out here doing it for us. You're drawing up X's and O's. You're putting together lineups, but I'm the one taking the bouncers to the face. I'm the one risking my life. I'm the one out here risking my career. I'm the one out here that's batting like Uzi did for an entire day to save this squad. It's not you. So you got to give me that respect. And that's why I think that he did not have that respect for players. Okay, think about that. If Uzi does not come and do what he did in that, it wasn't during the, and somebody corrected me, it wasn't during the Ashes, it was during another match, but go out and bat for a day plus, they lose that series and forget about it. They're done. It ended up in a draw. A draw was so much better than a loss at that point. And that's an individual performance. And you cannot swallow your pride and say, man, this guy is special. He deserves to play against above a Travis Head or even a Joe Burns. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, I gotta have things my way. I gotta have you guys follow my lead, even if my lead isn't what's winning games. So for me, this is why I think it's been a long time coming, Nick. It should have happened. I just don't like the way Australia did it.
Well, and that for me is the most perplexing thing, because you look at his record. I believe it's 63 wins overall in all formats combined, 49 losses. And I don't know a typical average record for a cricket coach of several years like he did. But to me, that's just, for a team like Australia, that doesn't seem like a great coaching record. Jihan, everyone else, they can correct me on that because I don't really know Roland, all that kind of stuff. But this is the thing that's perplexing to me. I can understand doing it after the India series in Australia.
Okay.
I can understand doing it when a few series after that, what was it, like England or whatever, where Australia might have barely got a little, I don't know. I can understand doing it in a few other circumstances. But you just dominated the Ashes against England and you just won the World Cup. So someone on the outside looking in, a student of leadership would say, listen, it took him some time to build traction. He had to overcome the controversy, and he was able to find success with that team. We don't want to change it now, right? You want to change it then. Like, again, India comes into your house, breaches the GABA, wins the series, kicks you out of the WTC top spots. England comes in, a hobbled England, if you will, but still, England comes in and you dominate. You win the World Cup. You got another one in 6 months that you have a really good chance of winning that one too. And I mean, to me, that's the biggest surprise ever. I have no problem if you do it before, if there's problems, the winning's not there and all that kind of stuff. But I need the Australia cricket fans. I mean the hardcore fans, right? Like at Dibbly Dobby, all this kind of stuff. I need you guys to explain to me, because I'm just not smart enough. Why, like, what's the justification now? Right? I get the players. I understand if he was did not have the players on his side. I get that point. But why wasn't this done a year ago? Why wasn't this done 9 months ago, for crying out loud? I don't know. You had 2 World Cups in a span of 12 months. Let's get a new guy in there. Let's make sure whatever works the first time, we can do that the second time.
Nick, I agree with you. I think if you were going to fire JL, it should have happened after the GABA was breached. You know what I'm saying? After that debacle, where, remember, people forget, in that first series, or in the first match of that series, that was when, what was it, 59 on out, all out for India?
30,
you figured it's
all out.
36 all out. To do that, to then lose the series, not just lose the series, but the GABA's, bro, yeah, that's a fireable offense. You do it then, okay? You do it then. You don't do it after the guys just won a T20 World Cup and won in the Ashes. Like, I don't understand. They're finally starting to buy into the system, and now you're going to switch it up. So I agree with you then. It was dumb. And again, I just think that, unfortunately, cricket is ran by this old guard. Maybe that's not even what maybe it's not the old guard, but bro, from England, all right, and these are the teams we follow the most, the closest. My West Indies, oh my gosh, my West Indies is a nightmare. They're from the West Indies cricket board is an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. It's a travesty. Okay, let's just be real. For one of the top sides in the world, all right, it's a joke. All right, and even India. Okay, yeah, India's record compared to JL's won what? That's a little over 100 winning 100 winning percentage right there. Or not 100 winning percentage. You said what, 63 and 49? So yeah, a 1.29 winning percentage, right?
500.
It's a record above 500. What was India's winning record? And still, you're always on the hot seat if you're the coach of India. You're always on the hot seat if you're the captain of India. You lose one series, you could win 20 in a row. You lose one at home, bro. It's
yeah.
And
And what Gabe is talking about is Ravi Shastri's record. I just want to look at for comparison. For tests and ODIs, the T20 is not coming for some reason. 43 test matches, 25 wins. So 25 wins, 13 losses. I mean, by my math, that's like what, 58, 60%. And then out of the ODIs, out of 76 matches, he won 51. And as long as I've been following for the last 2 years plus, I mean, this guy's an alcoholic. This guy's a loser. This guy's a bum. He's a bum, right? And I mean, holy cow, for crying out loud. The last thing I want to say about JL, because I still remember the test and fall in love with that team. That's why I still do like Australia, even though I root against them. This is my final thing, and I'm curious if anyone agrees with me on this one. JL did exactly what you needed him to do. You had scandal, you had situations, you had all that kind of stuff at Cape Town and getting rid of the coach. He came in, and Australia struggled for the first. A lot of those losses were the first year of his coaching career, right? They struggled for crying out loud.
Sure.
And when he left, now everyone's talking about, oh, here comes Australia again. They're one of the top sides in all formats once again. And I get it. Like the experts are going to say they're never out of the top four. Well, they shouldn't be. They're Australia, for crying out loud. But I feel like JL did exactly the job he wanted him to. So it's almost like, I mean, this guy was used and bye. You're the scapegoat.
No, for sure. And you know what? I can't even add anything to that. I'll tell you right now, I agree with you. He did the job that they asked of him to do. I just think he brought Australia back to respectability. And he even changed the narrative, Nick. He changed the conversation. The first few months, we would stream an Australia game. All you would hear is sandpaper gate, sandpaper gate, sandpaper gate. You're not hearing that no more. All right? You're not hearing that, not even a little bit. All you would hear is South Africa, South Africa. You don't hear nothing no more, cousin. And he's changed the narrative now from, Australia cheating, biggest scandal. He's actually saved, in my opinion, Steve Smith's career, because Smudge was hated. And now he's once again beloved. And I love Smudge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Who talks about that anymore? Yeah.
Exactly. I think he's even taken all the negative attention on himself. You know what I'm saying? Because of his demeanor and his attitude. Maybe it was a plan. Maybe it's, let's put this guy in here to take to get us back to our winning ways, but then to get all the negativity from our own fans and media off the players and onto him. Maybe it was by design. Maybe they're geniuses. All right. They're sitting somewhere like this, like, you got the Mr. Burns shirt right there from the system. Excellent. Excellent. JL did his job. Now he's the most hated. Let's not forget who was the one with the sandpaper in their britches. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that was the whole plan all along.
I love how Montgomery Burns has a British accent now.
Oh, did I just do the British accent? Yeah, that one's going on the resume, baby. ESPN. Yeah, I'm just saying ESPN Cricket Post.
The britches. That might have been Scottish. I'm not sure. The britches.
In his britches. But I agree. That was a smart. That was very good analysis by you there. I think he did the job that was needed of him. I just think now that, it's almost like whatever coach walks into that, right? Your team's in the winning ways. You got back. Remember, he took over a team again with a Smudge being suspended for, what was it, a year and a half? David Warner being suspended for a year and a half. Was it Bancroft? Who else was gone for like a year and a half? So you lost a lot of your big guns. And now that whoever walks in is going to walk into this team serendipitous. No more Tim Payne, who, was also a detriment to the team because his play wasn't that good. But, and now they're back to their winning ways. That's all we had to do was get rid of JL. Let's go back and look at what JL started with. And let's just be real. Let's be real about this, okay?
Listen,
the guy was not a bad coach.
You better double down now, right? If you did listen to the players and that was the main reason, I don't know, then you better double down and get their input on who you're going to hire, because that way, when they start belly aching, if they do, and you're like, no, this was your guy. This is the guy you guys chose. Go back to the locker room. Go get yourself a Hot Pocket, for crying out loud, right? Let us know what your thoughts are on our analysis here, our thoughts. Again, I'm sad to see JL go. I don't know the guy. I like the guy. I get it. It's time to move on. If it's not working, it's not working. I get that. But I'm sad to see him go. Let us know your thoughts if you feel completely different or somewhere similar or whatever. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
That's 6 runs.